Alright, hey YouTubes. It's been a while since I posted a video, and I'm going to see if I can't get back into this again. Probably just going to use an iPhone for right now, but rained 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches last night, so it's a little wet outside. Can't really do any sort of field work or anything, so we've got some parts we're going to build for our old Krause Disk. It's got some turnbuckles for the wings to help set the wings so it doesn't ridge, and they're all froze up and bad. So I bought some parts, and we're going to build some new replacements. But as you can see, particularly in this area, it's a bit of a mess. So we're going to do a quick cleanup before we get started. Alright, when I go back over to the farm later, I can show what we're actually replacing, but here's my parts. Basically, where's my other pipe? We're going to take some of this 1.5 inch Schedule 40 pipe. These are some threaded weld-in tube bungs that we will weld into either end, and then a heim joint will go thread into either end, and this will become my turnbuckle. One end is right hand thread, one hand is left hand thread, so I can spin this and run it out or in, and it'll allow me to make the adjustment to the wings of that disc like I want to do. So we're going to have to get this welded in here, but before I can install them, I'm going to need to get some jam nuts for these. But I got some more pipe. We're going to start putting this together. Alright, my center to center distance between that and that, where the pins will go, needs to be 16 inches. So I mocked it up. I've marked my tube. Now I need to cut this to length, and we can get everything, we can get the welder out and get everything tacked. Alright, well, we got the welder out. Got our piece of tube cut. We'll go in here and we'll make sure that that thing is sitting square in at least 2 different directions, so that we'll know it's centered on that pipe. We'll get that tacked up, we'll flip it over, we'll put the other one in, get it tacked up, check everything, and get ready to weld. Alright, we got both bungs in either side. Now before we can burn this out, we've got to put our rod ends in and thread them in all the way. If you do not thread a bolt or something into this bung, or anything that you weld that's threaded, will warp and distort, and you'll never get your bolt or whatever you're trying to thread into it to go into it. So trick is always thread a bolt or whatever is going to be in your threaded portion, put that in, weld it, let it cool, take it out, and it'll work. Well, I certainly don't claim to be a welder. It's not pretty, but I'm probably just going to grind it down anyhow. But we'll go ahead and weld the other side on. Well, I didn't do another time lapse or nothing, but here's the finished product. Went ahead and the insert already had a beveled edge on it. I beveled the edge on the edge of the tube to make sure I got penetration, and and then I ground them all off smooth. I burned them on there pretty hot, so I think it ought to hold, but we'll see. So I gotta let these things cool off just a little bit and then try to get them unthreaded. I may still have to get a tap and chase those threads with a tap, but we'll here in a little bit we'll go take this over to the disc and show you what we're replacing. Right, we threw a coat of self-etching primer on, and then I'm gonna throw probably a couple coats of black paint, and these things will be ready except for getting some jam nuts on them. All right, well, we are now at the shed. Got to do evening chores here, so go ahead and take you for the ride here if we can. It's kind of windy, so might have some bad audio, we'll see. But we're going to feed some calves, and we can go take a look at that disc. But let's get on the Ranger and go get us some feed. All right, 8 buckets of finished feed to go for these steers that were found. Wouldn't you know it, all them fats found a patch of grass that I turned them on this morning, but they waited till now to find it. Of course, I should probably shut this gate. I should probably shut this gate. But yeah, we got 25 steers in here that we're feeding out for finish. We'll either be selling to individuals or on the grid this summer. They're averaging about 1,100 pounds right now. But we got 25 in here. And then these are spring weaned calves. There was 40 in here, but I pulled 10 heifers off and took them down to our heifer development pasture, so there's about 30 head in here, a few heifers, mostly steers. We'll be selling some of these off, and I'll be keeping probably 21 head to finish out just like these over next to us. Alright, so these fat steers, they're out of hay, so I need to unhook the 5100 from the manure spreader, put the bale spikes on the back, and go put out a couple bales of hay. So we just changed the oil in this the other day, so I should probably check it. Oh yeah, she's plenty full. Yep, she's got 976 hours on her. This tractor will probably break 1,000 this year. I'm glad we're not like those guys up north that are constantly having problems with batteries. I don't know that I've ever had a tractor not start, no matter the conditions down here in Kansas. But a little different conditions sometimes, I guess. Alright, so I'm missing a bale spike on the back, so we'll throw a bale spike on and go put out a couple bales of hay real quick. Bale spike on the back. Something goofed up on the 3-point. I'm going to have to get off and fix it in a second, so we're going to do this in 2 trips. Now you might ask, why are you still feeding hay in April when the grass is all green and growing like crazy and it's been fertilized? Well, very simple answer. We have nowhere else to put them. All of our pastures are full of fall cows or spring cows with calves, and we don't really have extra pasture for calves, so they get fed out in lots or out there where they're at, and there's grass, but there's so many of them that it never grows enough to amount to anything, so they got to be fed hay, and which would be fine normally, but this year we pretty much ran out of hay, real close, and this is all we got left. I'm hoping, really hoping, that we'll make it, that this, I can stretch this to make us till the end of May or so when we start baling hay, to have some hay. Otherwise we're going to be in trouble. But that's why those fat steers were out on a paddock of grass. It's a small one. Last year I did this and it helped extend the hay. I'll turn them out on the grass in the morning, pull them off of it at night, and they can eat hay the rest of the time. They're also getting fed so much grain that they don't really eat a lot of forage, just a little bit. And so I'm hoping that that helps extend our hay. As well as I got rid of those 10 heifers that were in the old hog lot over there, and reduced the numbers in there so the hay in there should last longer. So hopefully we can make it. Alright, we got the 3-point figured out. Interesting how that works. Okay, now we're going to hook this 5100 up to the grinder mixer, because I'm going to have to make feed in the morning. Alright, here, let me step back. We'll get a better view. So this is an old Krause 21-foot disc. Just a regular disc. I don't know when my grandpa bought it. Years and years and years ago. It's been on this farm a long time. When I first started driving tractors at the age of about 13, started on a John Deere 4440 and this disc, and that's what I learned on. When we got out of farming, crop farming, we sold our other discs and our bigger equipment. We kept this one just to have a disc, and it's actually got really good blades on it. I think shortly before it got parked, it had new blades put on it, and it's got a new lift cylinder. All 4 main tires down here are new. Well, I say new, they're probably 5-6 years old now, but they're extra heavy duty tires and they're all new. But this thing ridges and it needs set properly, and part of it are these turnbuckles, and that's what I was building earlier in the video, is new versions of this to put in here. These are all froze up and you can't get them to turn, and so we're just gonna take those off and put those new ones in that I built. But this way I can then change the heights of the wings and make some adjustments, and maybe get this thing set to where it'll do a pretty good job. I mean, it discs pretty good, but it doesn't do good set shallow because the wings aren't right, and it just needs some adjusting. So we got them built. Just gonna have to get this disc out of here and get them put on there. But that's what they're for. That'll do it for this video. I'm not going to use my GoPro anymore because it's old. It's an old GoPro and it doesn't do very good. And I don't know if it's really, this probably isn't much better because this is on an old iPhone 6. But I have this phone. I've got a different phone I'm using, so we're going to kind of use this, I think. And yeah, we'll make a few videos. We've got some new equipment on the farm. A new bull. Well, he's been on the farm since born because I raised him, but we got a new bull that we raised, you know, that we're going to use this year. We're selling an 8-year-old balancer bull, and got quite a bit going on. So we'll try to take you along and do some vlogging, and hope you like and subscribe. Thanks.